Coming up on Philosophy Talk.
Kid writer falls in love with writing, falls out of love with writing, falls in love with philosophy, then comes back to her first love. There's a nice narrative arc to that.
All of these lines across my face tell you the story of who I am.
Would your life make a great memoir?
Does it have to in order to be meaningful?
How exactly do you tell the story of your life?
Who exactly is the audience?
Is the narrator even reliable?
But these stories don't mean anything when you've got no one to tell them to.
We're faced with this big hot mess. We're going to necessarily end up with a story that's in some ways a simplification, in some ways false.
Our guest is Helena de Bres, author of Philosophy in the First Person.
Narrative and the Meaning of Life.
Coming up on Philosophy Talk.
Have you seen our new redesigned website at philosophytalk.org?
You can sign up for free to listen to more content than ever, or become a premium subscriber for even more perks, because we need your support now more than ever.
In April, the administration terminated our NEH grant, and we lost $38,000 in promised funding. And since then, they've been making more cuts to universities as well.
Not to mention Congress voting to rescind all public media funding. So while you're checking out that all-new website, please consider a gift of support.
Any contribution is vital to helping continue our work. But if you give $500 or more, we'll thank you by name in the credits.
And now, on with the show.
Would your life make a great memoir?
Does it have to in order to be meaningful?
Can you really tell your story without fudging the facts?
Welcome to Philosophy Talk, the program that questions everything.
Except your intelligence. I'm Ray Briggs.
And I'm Josh Landy. We're coming to you via the studios of KALW San Francisco Bay Area.
Continuing conversations that begin at Philosopher's Corner on the Stanford campus, where Josh teaches philosophy.
And at the University of Chicago, where Ray teaches philosophy.
Today, we're thinking about narrative and the meaning of life.
Meaning of life? What meaning of life, Ray? We're all just atoms in the void.
No, come on, you don't think life has any meaning? That's pretty bleak. Why even bother getting up in the morning if that's what you think?
Well, there's satisfactions to be had and people to help, but none of that gives life meaning.
Wait, say more about this helping people thing. If life is really meaningless, why aren't you just selfish?
I don't want to be selfish, but that doesn't have anything to do with meaning. I mean, helping other people gets me out of bed, sure, and it makes me feel like I'm not totally wasting my time on Earth, but what does that have to do with meaning?
Josh, that is meaning. A meaningful life is just one that's worthwhile. Sure, there might be pains and sacrifices. You have to get up in the middle of the night to take your friend to the hospital. But ultimately, it's all worth it because your life has meaning.
Well, okay, if that's all meaning is, then sure, but I don't see what narrative has to do with it.
Okay, think about the example of taking your friend to the hospital. What could possibly redeem the pain of having to wake up in the middle of the night? Well, it's that it's part of a narrative. Your friend was in trouble, they reached out to you, you took them to the hospital, and they felt better. It's a little story. And the ending of the story gives meaning and purpose to the stuff earlier on.
I just don't get why you need a story. What matters is that my friend needed help and they got it. Surely the rest is incidental.
Is it, though? Imagine that it happens a different way. Your friend calls you up and you just go back to sleep, but a stranger finds them and takes them to the hospital. In that story, they still get the help they need, but you're not living your life very well.
But why is it all about me? I mean, isn't this my friend's story? I feel like there's something a little narcissistic in thinking that my friend's pain is just part of my life narrative.
Look, I'm not saying your narrative is all that matters, but we were talking about what gives your life meaning. And the answer to that question is, well, it's living out a good story. Like the story where you help your friends in times of need instead of hanging up and going back to sleep.
Okay, maybe that's true for this one event, helping my friend in the middle of the night. That does make a nice little story. But my life, that doesn't make a nice little story. My life's been full of random noise and stops and starts and boring dead ends. No one's going to read that novel.
Yeah, speak for yourself, Josh. My memoir is going to be a bestseller.
I believe you, actually. And I think there's a reason for that, which is you're going to be making it up, right? If you don't care about factual accuracy, it's easy to make a life seem exciting.
Excuse you. The notorious El Rio incident, that really happened.
Less said about that, the better.
Agreed. I'm saving it for the memoir. But the point is, I don't have to make things up. I can just report real events. When you put them together, you get a single coherent narrative, and that's what gives life meaning.
But I bet that story leaves a bunch of stuff out. All those boring faculty meetings, the gas bills you've paid, the buses you've waited for. I can't help thinking that this true story of yours is a bit abridged.
Well, I still think my life story is cool, and I bet our guest will agree with me. It's Helena de Bres, author of Narrative and Meaning in Life.
In the meantime, we sent our roving philosophical reporter, Holly J. McDeed, to learn about caregivers who are taking control of their own narratives through poetry. She files this report.
Her son tells it like this. When Brenda Sue Pinata met her future husband Frank decades ago, she came home with a smile on her face and a cheeriness in her step. As they grew older and Frank struggled with dementia, he still wrote her love letters. I was lucky to speak with Brenda Sue before she died, not long after her husband passed away. When they met, they were both math teachers.
He in Sacramento, me in Stockton, and he asked me to dance at a math conference gathering.
Frank had joined the Merchant Marines when he was 17. He and a buddy paid a man on the street some $20 to act as their father so they could fight in World War II. On one of their first dates, Frank flew Brenda Sue around in an airplane.
And I got sick and he had to land us, but that's another whole story.
They lived together in the town of Rescue, California, their little piece of heaven.
When he got really sick, gardening and journaling were my refuge places. He could sit on the deck and watch me. The deeper his dementia got, the more he needed to see me. He needed the comfort of knowing exactly where I was and that I could answer whatever his questions were.
She said caregiving for someone with dementia is like acting. You go along with their story.
We learn how to do therapeutic lies if it helps them. Say, things are okay, it's all right. Or not get upset if they ask the same question 20 times.
But she also needed somewhere to release how she was feeling, so she joined a unique kind of poetry group just for caregivers. The group's leader, Francis Kakugawa, inspires caregivers in Sacramento to create meaning out of painful experiences through poetry. Brenda Sue remembers breaking down in tears when she met everyone.
All this time I thought I was totally alone and nobody in the whole world had ever done it before. I just broke down and cried a lot.
Writing poetry helped Brenda Sue slow down and appreciate the simple moments. She wrote a poem called Am I the Caregiver or the Receiver?
His memories from yesteryear remind me of our abundance, our history, our travel, our joyful dances through decades. His frequent naps gift me with solitude to know myself, catch up with chores, or read, or write without interruption.
In the poetry group, nothing was off limits.
We talk about things that you couldn't talk in normal company. If there's pee and poop, we talk the pee and the poop.
One of her poems took the shape of a help wanted ad.
Love and kindness required. Patience and listening a plus. Logic and reason don't exist.
We don't often hear stories that show the value of caregiving for people with dementia, or poetry that uses humor to capture the absurdity of aging.
Those are probably stories that aren't shared as often.
Kate McLean is a professor at Western Washington University. She studies how people recall and interpret their experiences in narrative form.
So perhaps it's an act of resistance or empowerment just to put them out into the ether, these experiences of caring for someone with dementia, which might begin to normalize or bring some empathy or compassion to that experience.
McLean also talks about the idea of master narratives, culturally shared stories that help provide a framework for how we understand ourselves.
And they also can be constraining if our experiences or identities don't fit within those storylines.
The caregiver poets create their own kind of master narratives. They write poems that reframe what it means to help loved ones age with dignity.
Well, she's my mother, so of course she's the most fantastic person to have ever lived. But everyone says that about her, so it's not just my bias.
That's Brenda Sue's son, Mike Smith. He lives in his mom's old house in Rescue, a home filled with her photographs and writing.
all the other writings that she has, I don't know what I'm going to do with. I feel like I should read them, but I don't know that I'll have enough lifetime to read them.
Mike reads one of his mom's poems titled The Long Waltz.
We're dancing the long waltz, out of step, yet holding tightly to yesteryear. This long goodbye amplifies memories we treasure, and that we'd rather forget. We face eternity on a different schedule. Is this the day our dance stops? Well, I hear different music. Create my own dance. Is there another dance yet to be learned, or will all the music stop? We've been saying goodbye for at least 10 years, and so every moment that she got with him was a gift, right? It was gravy on top.
Before she died, Brenda Sue had been working on a book, Dancing with Mr. P, Disco to Dementia. The title captures their story, poetic and filled with love from beginning to the end. For Philosophy Talk, I'm Holly J. McDeed.
Want to hear more? You can find the complete episode at our website. Or for unlimited listening, become a premium subscriber at philosophytalk.org.